heaven, come broken hearted, let rescue begin. Drums find your mercy, old sinner come in. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can heal. Lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your head. Oh, under you're not too far. Lay down your burden, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless, for all those who say, come sit at the table, come taste my grace. That's for the day, rest angels, earth has no sorrow that heaven can heal. Lay down your burden, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your faith. You're not too far. Lay down your burden, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's no more, oh sinner, be still. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can heal. Lay down your burden, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your head. Lay down your burden, lay down your heart, come as you are. I'm forgiven because you were forsaken. I'm accepted, you were condemned. I'm alive and well, the Spirit is within me, because you died and rose again. Amazing My soul great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, 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 how great thou art.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together here this Sunday morning. Please be with Pastor Jose as he give us a message and pray to restore our hearts. I hope that God will give a clean week of school, last week of school, and that everyone's blessed today. We just thank you for these things. Amen.
So pretty much every day since Monday, God has been walking me through my life again. And of course I keep asking, well, what are you having me do that for? I've already been through it. I know it. So if you want me to do something with it, tell me. So he was quiet. So I said, okay. So yesterday, while I was doing something I like, which is running a chainsaw, he gave me John 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay, it's a lot to read. And I've read more here. But no direct statement about doing anything. And this morning my phone beeped at me. And I looked at it, and basically it was sending the text that he was talking about. And I said, God has talked to me many times through signs. He's given me signs when I'm supposed to be up here, and so I read that as the sign since he's been walking me through this for all of the week. My kids all know that I hate texting. So we'll text back and forth 1 or 2 times, and then I hit the call button, and we start talking. I didn't let that happen this time. I just hit the call button. And I said to the voicemail, I read your text, and I think maybe it's a sign that I'm supposed to talk. We need to talk. So he called back, and here I am. So what we talked about, God and I walking and over there when I'm working, was kind of just a rehash of my life. So the first 50 years of my life, I was a pagan. I wasn't looking for God. I didn't want to know, could care less about him. But in the year that I turned 50, he called me. He didn't call me in church because I didn't go to church. I would go every now and then because somebody over there would bag me until I said, okay. But I didn't go to church. I wasn't looking for God. I didn't care at all. It's not that I wasn't exposed to him. My uncle was a pastor. And I'd been in church before, but I was never wanting to know him until I turned 50. So then, Gary over there was doing a men's Bible study, and he invited me to go, and I said, yeah. And I gave him some real nice blah, blah, blah. But when Tuesday night came, I couldn't not go. And I'm sorry, Gary. The first 6 years of it were almost worthless to me. because I wasn't getting a thing out of it. But somewhere in there, God started talking to me. He started talking to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. He didn't say much. Actually, he would usually say one-word commands. And I'd wake up bumbling around. Huh? Obedience? What the heck are you doing that for? Well, after he did that one, everything about obedience started jumping off of the page at me. And after a little bit, and I'm about the most disobedient person out there. So I became aware of obedience. And I realized I was massively disobedient, so he showed me out in here. The next word he gave me was confession. He wanted me to confess my sin. Spirit inside me kept saying, what's behind that door? You need to open that door. Nah, I'm not opening that door. Not for anything. So all of a sudden, several months later, I'd wake up to the fact that I didn't have a relationship at all with him because he wasn't talking to me. So I said, oh. Back there, I said, no. Okay, so I started praying and talking to him and being more interested in having a relationship with him. And so Spirit would be in there again and he'd say, it's behind that door. So I finally, after several tries of saying no, I would open that door. So I spent a lot of time opening doors that I didn't even know existed. But he wanted a relationship, and unrepentant sin, I believe, separates us. It kind of precludes us from having the relationship he wants with us. So hence, recognition that you've sinned. Once the recognition hits, I'm so thirsty I can't hardly stand it. He gives you confession, you confess it, you speak to him. And if you actually are a believer and you've committed a sin to a brother or sister, you're supposed to go and confess it to them and ask them for forgiveness. Confess. Then he gave me repent. Actually, that's not true. Then he gave me forgiveness. He said, forgive and receive forgiveness. Seek it. And then repentance. Turn away from sin. Don't do it anymore. Well, shoot, it's impossible for us. But he gave us a process wherein we can clean it up. Not us. Because we don't have the power to do it or the strength, but we give it to him. He cleans it. After that, he gave me the word surrender, which that's almost impossible for me, because you have to beat me to submission. So I think he might have done that. Surrender your will to me, Ken. And sometimes I do. But I recognize it when I don't. And then he gave me the opportunity to lift it up to him. The next word he gave me was conviction. And he showed me in here and other places conviction. One of the things that I wonder for us is, are we really convicted? Are we really committed 100% to the one true God? Are we? How would we know? I think we would know by obedience, by engaging in ways to remove sin once it's lifted up to him, God says it's gone. We keep grabbing it back and dragging it back to us, and then we got to get rid of it again. And I'm pretty good at doing that. The last word he gave me was a few months ago. And I think I finally exasperated him again, because last Sunday he threw it in my face. And what he gave me then was union or unity. So, I'm still going through all of that. And I think we go through it until we're no longer on this side of the dirt. Because while we may believe in our spirit, confess with our mouth that we believe in the one true God, and that one true God sent his only begotten Son to earth to do three things among many. One was to give the power, might, and majesty of God so we could see it. And he did all that through the signs, wonders, and miracles that he performed. John, or Yochanan, says in his book that there are so many of those signs, wonders, and miracles that back in those days there wasn't enough paper to write them all down. So here we are, trying to learn some of those things. And I think he wants me to read the Bible every time I get put up here. He wants me to read the book, his book. He's given us this book so that we can actually come, A, to know who he is, and B, if we actually earnestly seek to know him, he will show himself to us. But we have to earnestly seek him. So I think why God brought me here, just to put it out there, is that I came here with the purpose that he wanted me to talk about this and to tell us, including me, that we're living in sin and we need to clean it up. The church, each one of us. And if you look around at all the denominations that profess to be Christian, if you want to use that word, they're all actually putting this book over here and they're doing their own thing. All of them. So, he wants this church not to be that church. He wants us to be in union with him, doing what he tells us to do. And he doesn't ever whisper to me. He talks to me like who I believe he is, which is Adonai Tetzvayah, which was translated into Lord of Hosts. Hosts is kind of a milquetoast word for army. I am a servant, a soldier in his army. And he talks to me like what I am, his employee. So, I'm going to read a lot of the Bible to you. I'm going to read it in the complete Jewish Bible. Up on the screen, you'll see the New King James. It's a very common translation. This fella was an observant Jew. And at the age of 37, God called him. At the time, he was a piled higher and deeper teaching economics at USC. He turned his back on all that and went to, I think, the Fuller Seminary and became adjudicated as whatever they called him. And then shortly after that, he took his family to Israel, where he is today. he became grieved that the church didn't seem to know where it came from. Hence, he translated the New Testament from original manuscripts, which took him a long time. And then he wrote a commentary about it. People said, you got to do that to the Old Testament, or as the Jews call it, the Tanakh. He said, I won't live long enough. So he found a translation that I guess he said he could live with after he made modifications to it. And so he did, hence the complete Jewish Bible. And I've been seeking to know a translation that speaks to the word closer than some of the translations that are out there. And the problem we have translating Hebrew and Greek into English is that English is a very basic language. I mean, you go from Greek where they have 4 words for love and we have 1. You know, you're going from an eloquent language to one that isn't so eloquent. I'm not too eloquent in English. But, so I'm going to read from the complete, and I'm going to be speaking words and names that you may not be familiar with. But they're Jewish names. If you can see, I write in this book. I have a problem wanting to know what names mean. And so I'm going to try not to tell you what they all mean because it would take a little longer. But every one of the Hebrew names has a translation that looks back to God, the one true God. Yirmiyahu. These are the words of Yirmiyahu, the son of Hilkiah, one of the Kohanim, living in Anatot in the territory of Benjamin. The word of Adonai came to him during the days of Yoshiahu, the son of Amon, king of Yehuda, in the 13th year of his reign. It also came during the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Yoshiahu, king of Yehuda, continuing until the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Yoshiahu, king of Yehuda, right up until the time Jerusalem was carried away captive in the 5th month. Here is the word of Adonai that came to me. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I separated you for myself. I have appointed you to be a prophet to the nations. I said, O Adonai Elohim, I don't even know how to speak. I'm just a child. But Adonai said to me, don't say I'm just a child. For you will go to whomever I send you, and you will speak whatever I order you. Don't be afraid of them, for I am with you, says Adonai, to rescue you. Then Adonai put out his hand and touched my mouth, and Adonai said to me, there I have put my words in your mouth. Today I have placed you over nations and kingdoms, to uproot and tear down, to destroy and to demolish, to plant and to build and to plant. The word of Adonai came to me, asking, Yirmiyahu, what do you see? I answered, I see a branch from an almond tree. Then Adonai said to me, you have seen well, because I am watching to fulfill my word. A second time the word of Adonai came to me, asking, what do you see? I answered, I see a cauldron tilted away from the north over a fire fanned by the wind. Then Adonai said to me, from the north calamity will boil over onto everyone living in the land. Because I will summon all the families in the kingdoms of the north, says Adonai. And they will come and sit each one on his throne at the entrance to the gates of Jerusalem, opposite its walls, all the way around, and opposite all the cities of Yehuda. I will pronounce my judgments against them for all their wickedness in abandoning me, offering incense to other gods and worshiping what their own hands have made. But you, dress for action. Stand up and tell them everything I order you to say. When you confront them, don't break down, or I will break you down in front of them. For today, you see, I have made you into a fortified city, a pillar of iron, a wall of bronze against the whole land, against the kings of Yehuda, against its princes, against its Kohanim, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but they will not overcome you. For I am with you, says Adonai, to rescue you. I read that over and over again, saying, I don't want to be that person. That person. There was a pastor here in front of Jose named Barry Anderson. And when he started talking to me about the stuff that I was telling him, he said, you seem to be exhibiting prophet tendencies. Don't know what that means. So I started reading all of the prophets. After a while, I went back and I said, I don't think I want to beat them. I mean, I don't think anything has turned out good for them on this earth. But if you've been called to do something, you have to engage the doing, no matter what it is. And so far I've learned that it's never in your strong suit. It's always in the weak one. Because he wants you humble, obedient, listening, not trying to direct. We have a tendency to grab a hold of our strength and jump with it. Ignore whatever he says and do whatever we want. If you look at our country, I believe our country was founded by God through the people we euphemistically call our founding fathers. Because I don't believe man has enough in him to develop the Constitution and the form of government that we operate in. But God had been giving that to the church back then, the Pilgrims, the Puritans. A lot of it is Presbyterian. And we basically rejected God in this country. Look around. God has blessed this country from its inception. We've been basically prideful and disobedient since shortly after the revolution. And now we have churches that are Christian teaching homosexuality is no problem, or you can do that when this doesn't say that. And after a period of time, me too, after a period of time, God says, okay, you want to go down that path? Well, let's give you an opportunity to go down. And we're going down that path. I think everything that's been going on for the last 100 years or more has been a slow trend to what's going on today in this country, where everybody is doing whatever they want, thinking that they can get away with whatever they want. Fortunately, I'm going to go to John. People have asked me over the years, who's the emissary you like the best, or apostle is how we call it. Really, I couldn't answer that, but recently I think I can now. I think the one I like the best is John. When I'm reading in John, the Spirit in me is bumping. So, I'm going to read John 1. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. All things came to be through him, and without him nothing had been. In him was life, and the life was the light of mankind. The light shines in the darkness. The darkness has not suppressed it. You realize there's a fight going on between light and dark? Yeah, I think so. There was a man sent from God whose name was Yochanan. He came to be a testimony, to bear witness concerning the light, so that through him everyone might put his trust in God and be faithful to him. He himself was not that light. No, he came to bear witness concerning the light. This is the true light, which gives light to everyone entering the world. He was in the world. The world came to be through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to his own homeland, yet his own people did not receive him. But to as many as did receive him, to those who put their trust in his person and power, he gave the right to become children of God. Not because of bloodline, physical impulse, or human intention, but because of God. The Word became human. The Word became a human being and lived with us. And we saw his Shekinah, the Shekinah of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. Yochanan witnessed concerning him when he cried out, "This is the man I was talking about when I said, 'The one coming after me has come to rank ahead of me because he existed before me.' We have all received from his fullness, yes, grace upon grace. For the Torah was given through Moshe. Grace and truth came through Yeshua, the Messiah. No one has ever seen God, but the only and unique Son, who is identical with God and is at the Father's side. He has made him. Here is Yochanan's testimony. When the Judeans sent Kohanim and Leviim from Jerusalem to ask him, 'Who are you?' he was very straightforward and stated clearly, 'I am not the Messiah.' 'Then who are you?' they asked him. 'Are you Eliyahu?' 'No, I am not,' he said. 'Are you the prophet, the one we're expecting?' 'No,' he replied. So they said to him, 'Who are you?' so that we can give an answer to the people who sent us. 'What do you have to say about yourself?' He answered in the words of Yeshayahu the prophet, 'I am the voice of someone crying in the desert, make the way of Adonai straight.' Some of those who had been sent were Prushim, and in Hebrew that means separated ones. They asked him, 'If you are neither the Messiah, nor Eliyahu, nor the prophet, then why are you immersing people?' To them Yochanan replied, 'I am immersing people in water, but among you is standing someone whom you don't know. He is the one coming after me. I'm not good enough even to untie his sandal.' All this took place in Beet-Aniah, east of the Yarden, where Yochanan was immersed. The next day Yochanan saw Yeshua coming toward him and said, 'Look, God's Lamb, the one who is taking away the sin of the world. This is the man I was talking about when I said, after me is coming someone who has come to rank above me because he existed before me. I myself did not know who he was, but the reason I came immersing with water was so that he might be made known to Israel.' Then Yochanan gave this testimony. 'I saw the Spirit coming down from heaven like a dove and remaining on him. I myself did not know who he was, but the one who sent me to immerse in water said to me, "The one on whom you see the Spirit descending and remaining, this is the one who immerses in the Ruach HaKodesh. And I have seen and borne witness that this is the Son of God.' The next day, Yochanan was again standing with two of his talmidim. On seeing Yeshua walking by, he said, "Look, God's Lamb." His two talmidim heard him speaking, and they followed Yeshua. Yeshua turned and saw them following him, and he asked them, "What are you looking for?" They said to him, "Rabbi, where are you staying?" He said to them, "Come and see." So they went and saw where he was staying and remained with him the rest of the day. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. One of the two who had heard Yochanan and had followed Yeshua was Andrew, the brother of Shimon Kepha. The first thing he did was to find his brother Shimon and tell him, "We found the Messiah." That is a Hebrew word that we've translated into Messiah, and what it means is the anointed, or the one who has been. He took him to Yeshua. Looking at him, Yeshua said, "You are Shimon bar Yochanan. You will be known as Kepha." And that is, in English, rock. The next day, having decided to leave for the Galilee, Yeshua found Philip and said, "Follow me." Yeshua was from Bethsaida, the town where Andrew and Kepha lived. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We found the one that Moshe wrote about in the Torah, also the prophets. It's Yeshua ben Yosef from Nazareth." Nathanael answered him, "Nazareth? Can anything good come from there?" "Come and see," Philip said to him. Yeshua saw Nathanael coming toward him and remarked about him, "Here's a true son of Israel, nothing false in him." Nathanael said to him, "How do you know me?" Yeshua answered him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael said, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Yeshua answered him, "You believe all this just because I told you I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than that." Then he said to him, "Yes, indeed, I tell you that you will see heaven opened and the angels of God going up and coming down on the Son of Man." Interesting that he would say that. That's Genesis 28. That's when Jacob was sleeping in Bethel, which is the house of God, and he had a dream about angels going up and coming down on a ladder there. And that convinced him that there was something going on that he didn't really know about. And he started attempting to walk in God. 13. It was just before the festival of Pesach, and Yeshua knew that the time had come for him to pass from this world to the Father. Having loved his own people in the world, he loved them to the end. They were at supper, and the adversary had already put the desire to betray him into the heart of Yehuda ben Shimon from Kiryat. Yeshua was aware that the Father had put everything in his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he rose from the table, removed his outer garments, and wrapped a towel around his waist. Then he poured some water into a basin and began to wash the feet of the talmidim and wiped them off with the towel wrapped around him. He came to Shimon Kepha, who said to him, "Lord, you are washing my feet." Yeshua answered him, "You don't understand yet what I'm doing, but in time you will understand." "No," said Kepha, "you will never wash my feet." Yeshua answered him, "If I don't wash your feet, you have no share with me." "Lord," Shimon Kepha replied, "not only my feet, but my hands and head too." Yeshua said to him, "A man who has had a bath doesn't need to wash except his feet. His body is already clean, and you people are clean, but not all of you." After he had washed their feet, taken back his clothes and returned to the table, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me Rabbi and Lord, and you are right, because I am. Now if I, the Lord and Rabbi, have washed your feet, you should also wash each other's feet. For I have set you an example so that you may do as I have done to you. Yes, indeed, I tell you, a slave is not greater than his master, nor is an emissary greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. I am not talking to all of you. I know which ones I have chosen. But the words of the Tanakh must be fulfilled that say, 'The one eating my bread has turned against me.' I'm telling you now, before it happens, so that when it does happen, you may believe that I am. Yes, indeed, I tell you that a person who receives someone I send receives me, and that anyone who receives me receives the one who sent me." After saying this, Yeshua, in deep anguish of spirit, declared, "Yes, indeed, I tell you that one of you will betray me." The Talmudim stared at one another, totally mystified. Whom could he mean? One of his Talmudim, the one Yeshua particularly loved, was reclining close beside him. So Shimon Kiva motioned to him and said, "Ask which one he's talking about." Leaning against Yeshua's chest, he asked Yeshua, "Lord, who is it?" Yeshua answered, "It's the one to whom I give this piece of matzah after I dip it in the dish." So he dipped the piece of matzah and gave it to Yehuda ben Shimon from Kiryat. As soon as Yehuda took the piece of matzah, the adversary went into him. What you are doing, do quickly," Yeshua said to him. But no one at the table understood why he had said this to him. Some thought that since Yehuda was in charge of the common purse, Yeshua was telling him, "Buy what we need for the festival," or telling him to give something to the poor. As soon as he had taken the piece of matzah, Yehuda went out, and it was night. Interesting time. Night is darkness. After Yehuda had left, Yeshua said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If the Son has glorified God, God will himself glorify the Son, and will do so without delay. Little children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and as I said to the Judeans, where I am going, you cannot come. Now I say it to you as well. I am giving you a new command, that you keep on loving each other in the same way that I have loved you. You are also to keep on loving each other. Everyone will know that you are my Talmudim by the fact that you have love for each other." Shimon Kiva said to him, "Lord, where are you going?" Yeshua answered, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow later." "Lord," Kiva said to him, "why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you." Yeshua answered, "You will lay down your life for me? Yes, indeed. I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. John 14. Don't let yourselves be disturbed. Trust in God and trust in me. In my Father's house are many places to live. If there weren't, I would have told you, because I am going there to prepare a place for you. Since I am going and preparing a place for you, I will return to you. I will return to take you with me, so that where I am, you may also be. Furthermore, you know where I am going, and you know the way there." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how can we know the way?" Yeshua said, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Because you have known me, you will also know my Father. From now on, you do know him. In fact, you have seen him." Philip said to him, "Lord, show us the Father. It will be enough for us." Yeshua replied to him, "Have I been with you so long without your knowing me, Philip? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Don't you believe that I am united with the Father, and the Father united with me? What am I telling you? I am not saying on my own initiative. The Father living in me is doing his own works. Trust me that I am united with the Father, and the Father united with me. But if you can't, then trust because of the works themselves. Yes, indeed, I tell you that whoever trusts in me will also do the works I do. Indeed, he will do greater ones, because I am going to the Father. In fact, whatever you ask for in my name, I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me for something in my name, I will do it. If you love me, you will keep my commands. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another comforting counselor like me, the Spirit of truth, to be with you forever. The world cannot receive him because it neither sees nor knows him. You know him because he is staying with you, and will be united with you. I will not leave you orphans. I am coming to you. In just a little while, the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you too will live. When that day comes, you will know that I am united with my Father, and you with me, and I with you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. And the one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and reveal myself to him. Yehuda, and in parentheses, not the one from Kiryat, said to him, "What has happened, Lord, that you are about to reveal yourself to us and not to the world?" Yeshua answered him, "If someone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. Someone who doesn't love me doesn't keep my words, and the one you are hearing is not my own, but that of the Father who sent me. I have told you these things while I am still with you, but the Counselor, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything that is. He will remind you of everything I have said to you. What I am leaving with you is shalom. I am giving you my shalom. I don't give the way the world gives. Don't let yourselves be upset or frightened. You heard me tell you I am leaving, and I will come back. If you loved me, you would have been glad that I am going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. Also I have said to you now, before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will trust. I won't be talking with you much longer, because the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me. Rather, this is happening so that the world may know that I love the Father, and that I do as the Father has commanded me. Get up, let's get going. John 15. I am the real vine, and my Father is the gardener. Every branch which is part of me but fails to bear fruit, he cuts off, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it may bear more fruit. Right now, because the word which I have spoken to you, you are pruned. Stay united with me as I will with you. For just as the branch can't put forth fruit by itself apart from the vine, so you can't bear fruit apart from me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. Those who stay united with me, and I with them, are the ones who bear much fruit, because apart from me you can't do a thing. Unless a person remains united with me, he is thrown away like a branch and dries up. Such branches are gathered and thrown into the fire, where they are burned up. If you remain united with me and my words with you, then ask whatever you want, and it will happen for you. This is how my Father is glorified, in your bearing much fruit. This is how you will prove to be my Talmudim. Just as my Father has loved me, I too have loved you. So stay in my love. If you keep my commands, you will stay in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and stay in his love. I have said this to you so that my joy may be in you and your joy be complete. This is my command, that you keep on loving each other just as I have loved you. No one has greater love than a person who lays down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave doesn't know what his master is about. But I have called you friends, because everything I have heard from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, I chose you, and I have commissioned you to go and bear fruit that will last, so that whatever you ask from the Father in my name, he may give you. This is what I command you. Keep on loving each other. If the world hates you, understand that it hated me first. If you belonged to the world would have loved its own. But because you do not belong to the world, on the contrary, I have picked you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. Remember what I told you. A slave is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you too. If they kept my word, they will keep yours too. But they will do all this to you on my account, because they don't know the one who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they wouldn't be guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done in their presence works which no one else ever did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen them and have hated both me and my Father. But this has happened in order to fulfill the words in their Torah, which read, they hated me for no reason at all. When the Counselor comes, whom I will send you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, who keeps going out from the Father, he will testify on my behalf. And you testify too, because you have been with me from the outset. John 16. I have told you these things so that you won't be caught by surprise. They will ban you from the synagogue. In fact, the time will come when anyone who kills you will think he is serving God. They will do these things because they have understood neither the Father nor me. But I have told you this so that when the time comes for you, it will happen. So that when the time comes for it to happen, you will remember that I told you. I didn't tell you this at first because I was with you, but now I am going to the one who sent me. Not one of you is asking me, where are you going? Instead, because I have said these things to you, you are overcome with grief. But I tell you the truth, it is to your advantage that I go away. For if I don't go away, the comforting counselor will not come to you. However, if I do go, I will send him to you. When he comes, he will show that the world is wrong about sin, about righteousness, and about judgment, about sin, and that people don't put their trust in me, about righteousness, and that I am going to the Father, and you will no longer see me, about judgment, and that the ruler of this world has been judged. I still have many things to tell you, but you can't bear them now. However, when the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all truth. For he will not speak on his own initiative, but will say only what he hears. He will also announce to you the events of the future. He will glorify me, because he will receive from what is mine and announce it to you. Everything the Father has is mine. This is why I said that he receives from what is mine and will announce it to you. In a little while you will see me no more. Then, a little while later, you will see me. At this time, some of the Talmudim said to one another, what is this that he's telling us? In a little while you won't see me. Then, a little while later, you will see me. And I am going to the Father. They went on saying, what is this little while? We don't understand what he's talking about. Yeshua knew that they wanted to ask him, so he said to them, are you asking each other what I meant by saying, in a little while you won't see me, and then a little while later you will see me? Yes, it's true. I tell you that you will sob and mourn, and the world will rejoice. You will grieve, but your grief will turn to joy. When a woman is giving birth, she is in pain, because her time has come. But when the baby is born, she forgets her suffering out of joy that a child has come into the world. So you do indeed feel grief now, but I am going to see you again. Then your hearts will be full of joy, and no one will take your joy away from you. When that day comes, you won't ask anything of me. Yes, indeed, I tell you that whatever you ask from the Father, he will give you in my name. Till now you haven't asked for anything in my name. Keep asking, and you will receive, so that your joy may be complete. I have said these things to you with the help of illustrations. However, a time is coming when I will no longer speak indirectly, but will talk about the Father in plain language. When that day comes, you will ask in my name. I'm not telling you that I will pray to the Father on your behalf, for the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and have believed me that I came from God. I came from the Father and have come into the world. Again, I am leaving the world and returning to the Father. The Talmudim said to him, look, you're talking plainly right now. You're not speaking indirectly at all. Now we know that you know everything, and that you don't need to have people put their questions into words. This makes us believe that you came from God. Yeshua answered, now you do believe, but a time is coming, indeed it has come already, when you will be scattered, each one looking out for himself, and you will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. I have said these things to you, so that united with me, you may have some shalom. In the world you have sorrow, but be brave. I have conquered the world. John 17. After Yeshua had said these things, he looked up toward heaven and said, Father, the time has come. Glorify your Son, so that the Son may glorify you, just as you gave him authority over all mankind, so that he might give eternal life to all those whom you have given him. And eternal life is this, to know you, the one true God, and him whom you sent, Yeshua the Messiah. I glorified you on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Now, Father, glorify me alongside yourself. Give me the same glory I had with you before the world existed. I made your name known to the people you gave me out of the world. They are yours, you gave them to me, and they have kept your word. Now they know that everything you have given me is from you, because the words you gave me I have given to them, and they have received them. They have really come to know that I came from you, and they have come to trust that you sent me. I am praying for them. I'm not praying for the world, but for those you have given to me, because they are yours. Indeed, all you have is yours, and all you have is mine, and in them I have been glorified. Now I am no longer in the world. They are in the world, but I am coming to you. Holy Father, guard them by the power of your name, which you have given to me, so that they might be one, just as we are. When I was with them, I guarded them by the power of your name, which you have given to me. Yes, I kept watch over them, and not one of them was destroyed, in parentheses, except for the one meant for destruction, so that the Tanakh might be fulfilled. But now I am coming to you, and I say these things while I am still in the world, so that they may have my joy made complete in themselves. I have given them your word, and the world hated them, because they do not belong to the world. Just as I myself do not belong to the world, I don't ask you to take them out of the world, but to protect them from the evil one. They do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. Set them apart for holiness by means of the truth. Your word is truth. Just as you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. On their behalf, I am setting myself apart for holiness, so that they too may be set apart for holiness by means of the truth. I pray not only for these, but also for those who will trust in me because of their word, that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are united with me, and I with you. I pray that they may be united with us, so that the world may believe that you sent me. The glory which you have given to me, I have given to them, so that they may be complete, so that they may be one, just as we are one. I united with them, you with me, so that they may be completely one. Bless you. The world thus realized that you sent me, and that you have loved them just as you have loved me. Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am, so that they may see my glory, which you have given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. Righteous Father, the world has not known you, but I have known you, and these people have known that you sent me. I made your name known to them, and I will continue to make it known, so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I myself may be united with them. Tired of reading. I think we need to be united with our Messiah, so that we can be properly united with each other. Because if we're not, we are not united. Father God Almighty, I thank you and I praise you for who you are, a sovereign, righteous, and holy God. I thank you for the mercy and grace you provide us. I thank you for this holy word that you give us so that we can come to know who you are. I pray, Father, that we would ingest this word of yours, earnestly seek to know you, because you want an intimate and personal relationship with each one of us. And I pray, Father, that this body would be united in seeking that relationship. And I ask for all this in the name of the Messiah. Amen.
Amen.